Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optics, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network. Where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Devin.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's here, man. The weekend is here, and I'm very, very excited that the weekend is here. I'm just super duper just all about it.
I just tried a new restaurant tonight a little bit ago. You ever heard of BB Bop?
Wait, what's up?
Have you ever heard of BB Bop?
I've heard of BB Bop, but I don't know what it is.
It's basically Asian Chipotle.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
I just had that, and it was definitely hitting the spot.
I found this little clip of this nice little weekend meme click. It's the weekend, so like why not? It's just but yeah, BB Bob. You know what? I feel like my mom has talked about that before, but I'm not 100% sure. But hey, it is what it is. But of course, let's move on here, shall we? Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get into our weekly discussion and our Wandavision review. You can listen to this podcast on podcast platforms around the internet, and you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optics for all of our latest announcements. I've been using the Twitter a little bit more, I'm not gonna lie, just to kind of make it a nice little balance. I felt like our presence wasn't there enough on Twitter, so I felt like that was warranted for this year. You know, new year, new resolutions. We're
gonna have a super follow button on our account.
OnlyFans, man. I don't understand that at all. Like, what is that all about? Like, it's just
more ways for them to make money.
I guess so, but
they're probably gonna take like half of all of it.
I mean, yeah, but who's gonna follow? Like, who's gonna super follow us for like every other like?
I mean, you said it before. It's gonna become OnlyFans.
Oh, it definitely is. It's gonna become the new OnlyFans for sure. I don't know how OnlyFans will respond, but yeah, I don't. Even my favorite like Twitter account in the world, there's no way I would like subscribe for super follow. That's just there's just no point. I don't see the point. They'll give us like, I mean, we talked about this, but they'll give us a super follow. Like, they'll give us a feature nobody needs, but we still don't have an edit button. That's all I'm gonna say. That's literally all I'm gonna say. I just don't. I don't get it. It's weird. It's really, really weird. And oh well. But we are so it's been such a long day. I'm sorry. I went to the gym right after work. I'm a little pooped out for my workout, but it was a good workout, so I feel content. But we will be joined by Leo later on. He's running a little bit late, had some last minute work obligations to take care of, so hopefully he'll be able to jump in here with us in a bit. But Devin, let's just start off with the news of the week. We got two brand new trailers coming up here. It's fantastic. We got another Zack Snyder film coming our way in May. How are you feeling about this? Army of the Dead.
Now, we've mentioned that Zack Snyder is not our favorites many times in the past, but he also did Dawn of the Dead a good 10, 15 years ago, and I actually enjoyed that one quite a bit.
I never saw it.
It was the zombie movie that was in the mall.
Oh, okay. So it kind of
so he's got experience in the zombie area. Now, in 2021, do we need another zombie movie? Probably not.
I'm so tired of the zombie craze. Like, do you remember the whole zombie craze with like Dead Island and I think Dead Rising as well? Like, every single video game that came out, I think it was like early like 2006, 7, maybe 8. Like Left 4 Dead, it was just, there was nothing but zombie games. And I think to really cap that off, we had like The Last of Us Part 1, but I don't consider that a zombie game. It's more of a different type of infectious thing. But yeah, I like
the aesthetic of the trailer. It had like some cool color palettes.
Yeah, it really
zombie
does.
movie, you don't expect that.
So is this the sequel to the other zombie movie that he made?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so I don't have to watch 3 Zack Snyder films this year in order just to have all that. But yeah, let's so yeah, Army of the Dead, just really quick. It does look interesting, but
It's on Netflix. We'll watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So next up for our trailers, we have Pixar's Luca. And this looks so promising.
The two of the best young actors we got in the game.
Yeah,
in a Pixar movie.
It just, oh my God. Listen to that music, Devin. Listen to that music. You know who's in this trailer? We got Jacob Tremblay and what's his face? Oh my gosh. From
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah, Jack Dylan Grazer as well. It looks fantastic, dude. And I'm just like, I'm at loss for words, to be completely honest. It really gives me the whole Ponyo.
Is it in Italy?
I believe so. I like
perfect place for Pixar to land.
Yeah. Of course, I guess I'll just read the synopsis really quick. Set in a beautiful seaside town on the Italian Riviera, Disney and Pixar's original film Luca is a coming-of-age story about one young boy experiencing an unforgettable summer filled with gelato, pasta, and endless scooter rides. Luca shares these adventures with his newfound best friend, but all the fun is threatened by their deeply held secret that they are sea monsters from another world just below the water's surface. And it's directed by Academy Award winner nominee Enrico Casarola. Yeah. So it definitely gives me the Ponyo vibes. If you've ever seen that, it is a Studio Ghibli film available on HBO Max. So that's always a good way to kind of like if you want to see what this movie it's kind of going to be about, or just like the basis or what I feel like it's based off of. Ponyo definitely is the first one that comes to mind. I love the "You Are My Sunshine" Italian rendition of the music. It's fantastic, and it gives me a little bit of the Destiny Island theme from from Kingdom Hearts. It's just the whole island aesthetic.
It's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, definitely sensing that vibe. But I am beyond excited. Like, can this just win Best Animated Picture next year, or do we have to just wait? Because this looks like it's gonna freaking crush it, and I'm just so excited. Like, I mean, I loved Soul, but like, I think I'm a little bit more excited for this over Soul. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean,
whenever Pixar does anything, it's just it's perfect.
It is perfect. It's Pixar perfect. But this does come from the team from Coco, which I personally believe is Pixar's best film, like 2 days.
I won't argue that.
And I think Inside Out is part of this team as well. So that's some good stuff there. But yeah, man, two great trailers. I don't think we had any other trailers this week, so I guess we'll just move on to our next studio news here, or Netflix, or not Netflix, sorry. And this actually confuses me. So Nickelodeon launches Avatar Studios. It will expand the world of Avatar, The Last Airbender / The Legend of Korra, and I guess they're going to be kicking everything off with a animated film by the show's original creators, Michael and Brian. I'm not going to pronounce their last names because I don't feel like butchering anyone else's last name tonight on the pod, but they did step away from the live action adaptation for Netflix last August. But today, Netflix announced to the world that the world of Avatar and the Legend of Korra will finally be getting that content expansion that we've been looking for. These two shows that I consider to be some of the best TV series out there. Say what you will about Legend of Korra. I know some people were kind of so. I liked it a lot. It was just the ending. It just kind of ended like very abruptly, very obscure. And that was it. But I was like, everything else leading up to it, like I thought it fit very well within the Avatar universe, but the the output for Avatar Studios will be on, drum roll please. Actually, I don't have a drum roll please, but it's going to be on Paramount Plus, Devin.
What isn't going to be on Paramount Plus?
Well, we'll get into that.
I think they took every property they possibly owned and are saying we're going to reboot that.
Yeah,
every single one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Rugrats,
we other.
got SpongeBob, like Beavis and Butthead, Paranormal Activity. There's a Halo series somehow that got thrown in there. They
somehow got that from Showtime, and I don't know why or how. And there's that
Paramount Plus is really going all out to try to just hit the nostalgia, because that, to me, that was the biggest mistake Quibi made, was there was only original new content, didn't have any back catalog.
Yeah.
So what Paramount Plus is trying to do is they're trying to tap into our nostalgia, and they're trying to build up this back catalog along with bringing back old stuff that I think people will dive into. It could work, but I don't know. It's just there's just not enough room in the streaming wars.
It's just so weird because, like, I mean, if you think, because number one, I thought Netflix signed a deal with Nickelodeon like a year or two ago about bringing their content onto Netflix. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, Nickelodeon has an out. They have, you know, a place to put all of their properties.
Yeah, Carly's on there right now.
Yeah, but then Paramount Plus is coming up, and that's where SpongeBob is going. The new Rugrats reboot is going there. Like, they are literally recycling our childhood.
Yeah,
like
that's their plan.
It's only a matter of time before we see probably like Doug or Hey Arnold or Ren and Stimpy. I just
did you see that little crazy Rugrats trailer?
I did. What did you think of that?
Strange. It looked better than the new SpongeBob, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, one thing I liked about the Rugrats, because I loved Rugrats growing up, was that the original cast members are coming back. We might have decided. I mean, if let alone for me at least, if they have Avatar, I have no choice but to sign up for this streaming platform, because I am going to go where the Avatar story follows. That is 100%. Like, but like, what's good for me is that it's for new content, because I already have Avatar and Legend of Korra on Blu-ray, so like I'm good in that department. And anyone out there listening, highly recommend starting, even if it's not a huge, like even if it's a small Blu-ray collection, start off with like your absolute favorite movies, because it really does it releases the burden of feeling the need to, you know, sign up for all these streaming services. We only do it because we have the podcast and we got to give you guys the news. So we're spending our hard-earned money to give you guys content.
You think Paramount Plus will have a 90-day trial?
Hopefully. But another thing I thought was interesting with Mission Impossible 7 and A Quiet Place Part 2, they're going to be hitting Paramount Plus after a 45-day theatrical run.
That's a bit of a backtrack on what precedent studios were setting with streaming releases after theaters. 45 days is a good gap.
It is a good gap, but how many people are going to go to the theater? Like, I'm going to the theater to see A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah,
to see A Quiet Place
Mission
Part
Impossible
2.
and Quiet Place are big movies, so I'm guessing they'll be pretty packed by that time.
I mean, I can pass on Mission Impossible, to be completely
honest. After that last one, I'm all in.
I'm like, the only thing I'm pissed about that with Fallout was that when Henry Cavill in that bathroom scene, and like he like pumps his fist, like we didn't get the boom, boom. I was like, oh, come on, like it was in the trailer. It was the best part of the trailer. He had that like powerful stash that they hid away during Justice League.
Horrible.
I was like, half the man's lip is missing. What's going on here? But it was terrible. I don't know how to feel about this at all, because it's just like Paramount Plus has me by the balls pretty much right now. And it's like, all you had to say was Avatar, and I'm there. Just when I thought that out, they pull me back in. But what do you think about this Halo series? It's do you think Paramount Plus will be enough for you to sign up for it, Devin? Just overall.
I mean, there's always going to be intrigue around a Halo series. It's like one of those projects that gets floated around for like 10 plus years that everyone thinks it's going to be such a great idea, and it just never really comes to fruition. That and Gears. Seems like those two are always like flirted with. But then they
Yeah.
never end up coming out or end up being worth anything on the screen.
Remember when we were like kids and everyone was talking about a Halo movie and we were so hyped?
Yeah,
It's
been rumored for like 20 years now.
Yeah, I mean they have technically made a Halo movie, but like I need a Halo movie, like triple A, like I'm talking big budget, big studio. Maybe this will work. I really don't know because Halo was originally supposed to be on Showtime and Paramount Plus. I mean, I guess all those Super Bowl commercials have gone to get used.
Oh my god, I forgot how awful those were, and there were like 8 of them.
It wasn't even that they were awful. It's just there were just so many of them. I'm like, I get it. Another streaming service is coming out in the market, but like, I feel like there's only going to be a few, like kind of how it is in the gaming space. You know, we have the big three. There's Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony. And yeah, you have like Google Stadia, and then there's Amazon's Luna as well. And then, you know, you have smaller kind of like mobile gaming developers and stuff like that. You have the mobile gaming market and the
PC
of course, yes, PC, but it's just like usually there's only really like 3 to 4 big players. And it's like, do you think, I mean, it's as much as popular as Netflix is, like I've actually come around to thinking that it's honestly not the best deal anymore. But and I've been actually thinking about writing an article about that, but between right now, I mean, Disney Plus is probably the, you know, a staple in everyone's. Netflix for sure. I would say probably the big 4. Well, I would say HBO Max, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Netflix. But I know a lot of people like Amazon Prime Video as well. And then there's Paramount Plus is going to be coming out, which was CBS All Access, but they have another leg with that as well, which is sports. And that's going to be, I think that's going to be their biggest thing.
NFL.
Yeah,
on
because
CBS.
Yeah, because it's like, think about like the only reason why do people only get cable? Like the only reason why people sign up for cable right now is for sports access. And it's like, yeah, I can get everything else anywhere. Like, and I'm not always watching like a streaming service. Sometimes I'm just watching YouTube videos or just, you know, watching my physical collection. I'm not always on my streaming services, but it's like Paramount Plus might have something to offer. They just might. I really don't know.
We'll have to see. It's already better than Quibi. I'm willing to put that out there.
Oh Lord, help Quibi. Man, oh man. But it's like when you were talking about how, you know, people didn't like Quibi because it was just nothing but original content. Disney Plus got slammed for that when it first came out. Everyone's like, oh, well, there's like nothing new on here besides The Mandalorian. I'm like, you have an entire.
Well, now they're eating crow because they have the #1 TV show in the world.
Yeah, and I don't think Disney Plus is going to be slowing down at any time. Like I have all the Marvel movies on Blu-ray.
There'll be a new series at all times, pretty much throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, because we got
a couple of gaps, but
yeah, we got confirmation that Loki will be in June, and I think Bad Batch is in May.
And they had Bad Batch to Loki, and then Loki to What If.
Yeah, What If, and we have Winter Soldier coming up right after WandaVision and the movies as well. I mean, Disney's set. Like that's what I like about Disney. They plan things out. Netflix is cool for like older shows. Like, I mean, if you want to get into like the Marvel like TV universe, like those are definitely still there. But I mean, it just depends on if you want to get into that because I mean, they canceled all those shows, and you know they're back within, you know, their rightful home, but we don't know when if they're going to ever even revive those, or we haven't really heard much about it. I mean, Kevin Feige kind of mentioned it earlier this week about, some people were saying that the Marvel shows are not as successful as Disney Plus shows. And it's like, well, we've only had one Disney Plus MCU show. So let's like pump the brakes. But like, I know there's a lot of Daredevil fans out there, me included, Jessica Jones fans, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's all there. But I don't know, man. Paramount Plus, I know we've been talking about this for a bit, but Paramount Plus is, we'll just have to wait and see. So you want to come up to our next news story, Devin? I'll let you do the honors, and I'll play the nice little track I found. It's good stuff.
Should I do another fake title?
Spider-Man homies.
Spider-Man Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound.
That was my idea.
Yeah. I was thinking of Spider-Man Home Skillet.
Gets a dog. Spider-Man Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound. Spider Dog comes into the mix.
So we actually have a legitimate title. Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home. Coming out this Christmas. And apparently the movie is actually set around the holiday time, the Christmas time.
Just like Miles Morales.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was beautiful. And it's also teasing a courtroom scene. Daredevil.
Yep.
Let's go, Matt Murdock. Let's go. We got Spider-Man up in here. Oh, there we go. Spider-Man's back, baby. He's back and better than ever. We got Spider-Man No Way From Home. We got Spider-Man Home Skillet. We got Spider-Man phone call or phone home. We got Spider-Man Home Slice. It's going to be good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I just wanted to play that really quick. I'm sorry. I got like super, super excited. Yeah, we got Spider-Man coming up in here. It's good stuff. He's back, baby. Better than ever. I mean, he's still owned by Sony. Well, the film rights is still owned by Sony, but he's back. So that's all that matters. But any thoughts of what this could mean? No Way Home.
I mean, multiverse, right? Has to be
multiverse, or is it more of a,
it's also directly coming off of Far From Home, where he's been outed, so he doesn't really have a place to go home. He doesn't really have a way to get back home.
That is true.
On the run.
That is very true, man.
He might need a lawyer, apparently.
Yeah. Oh man, I found this really great audio clip. I've been like audio clip like hunting for like days. I have like 4 or 5 banks of stuff I can just like load up on here. I mean, of course, we got the trombone and stuff like that. But I threw in the Spider-Man one literally just for this podcast because I'm very, very excited for it. And it's just like, I'm here, man. I'm here day one. Like COVID or no, I will be that my ass will be in that seat.
We'll be good by Christmas. Come on.
I'm home. I don't know, man. I don't know. America, where everyone's out here. Like literally 2 of my friends who are musicians, they went to go play a show in Huntsville, Alabama. It's about 2 hours away from here. Shout out to Kayla Woodson and Dylan Bodley. Go follow them on Instagram, D Bodley and K Woodson Music on Instagram. They do a really great time. Really great shows. But they've been playing a lot of oh man, what's that? Oh. Pop out the Gatorade again. Oh, he's got the water this time. I like it.
Parched.
So they played in Huntsville, Alabama, this past weekend, for about 2 to 3 hours. And literally, like when they got there, like nobody had their mask on. It was like as if COVID just didn't exist. But it's like they were there, they had to play, and I don't know, man. This is instances like that where I think this is probably not going to be over until, I would say until like, man, probably until the end of this year. I really don't know.
Well, that would be Christmas.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. When I say the end, I mean as in beginning January of next year, but I don't know. Only time will tell. The vaccine isn't perfect as of right now, so we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know.
Speaking of movie theaters, New York City is going to be reopening at 25% capacity in March.
Yay! Well, we don't live in New York.
It's the big market that theaters need, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, so are theaters out by you? Are they open or no?
I haven't even looked.
I'm thinking about going to the theaters this weekend. Not this weekend, next weekend.
I'm seeing Godzilla in theaters. Like,
oh, for sure. Like, yeah. I'm going before then. I want to go see Chaos Walking so I can support so I gotta support my girl Daisy Ridley, man. She's been out here. She's been fighting for these parts, these interviews, these castings. And it's like, it really sucks because between Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Adam Driver, it seems that Daisy Ridley's the only one who just now found something. It sucks because she did a phenomenal job. Say what you will about the sequel trilogy, but she did a phenomenal job. Like, especially of what she's given.
The best Jedi.
Yeah, she's Rey Skywalker now. So, but it's just like I'm thinking about it, man. I mean, I might as well warm myself up with like a lukewarm movie and then be comfortable enough to be like, okay, I'll go see Snyder. No, I was joking. I'll go see Godzilla versus Kong in the in the theater. So I'm thinking about it for sure. I don't know yet, but I got to support my girl Daisy Ridley.
Speaking of Snyder Cut, we got some interesting news that came out.
Well, Deborah Snyder, the lovely Deborah Snyder, the lovely wife to Zachary Snyder himself, suggests that fans should watch Justice League in parts and not all at once. I find this really, really funny and super counterproductive, only because for those of you who don't know, all of our wonderful listeners out there, the Zack Snyder's Justice League originally was slated or planned to be a 4-part release. Makes sense. You get people invested, at least for a month. You do part by part every month. That's totally cool. But they kind of backtracked, and they are now releasing it as a 4-hour movie. I believe it's like 4 hours, 1 minute, and like 20 seconds. It's like the official runtime, something of that nature. But this kind of goes into it's just weird because this comes from comic book movies or on comicbook.com, and she pretty much says that like it's. She said, I know a lot of fans are going to want to watch it like straight through, but it also has parts, which I mean, makes sense. But it's like, if you were so concerned with people binging this, you should have probably just released it in parts, or at least give, like, when someone goes to open it up, say, hey, you can watch it here in parts. We've broken it up for you for your, easy viewing, digestive pleasure, or here's the 4-hour runtime version of the movie. Boom, boom, boom. But she was saying that, what HBO Max is able to do is that there's going to be a timeline at the bottom. You'll be able to see the time of the thing. That's a direct quote, by the way. There's going to be little indications because each part has a title, and it's kind of a thematic. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, but what do you think about this? I just felt like it was odd.
My main worry is how much of it is actually going to be different than the original Justice League.
That too.
Imagine sitting through a 4-hour Justice League. Like, how much of it is actually going to be different? Half of it? Less than half?
I don't know. I mean, I'm intrigued. Like, I'm very intrigued to actually watch this film to see.
I don't want to watch it in a 4-hour sitting.
I really don't either.
Irishman, and that was what, 3.5?
Irishman took me at least 2 sittings to get through. But like I've said in the past, even with, like, I will sit there and watch Lord of the Rings all the way through. Extended editions, I only watch the extended editions. But even then, like, again, it is split up into 2 discs. The 4K disc is split up into 2 discs. Even the normal Blu-rays are split. The extended Blu-rays are split up into 2 discs. There's, you know, for the first 2 hours, you know, it leads up to a certain part. Then they'll say, oh, you know, to continue the story, enter this too. It's like, okay, cool. I can continue watching if I want, but 9 times out of 10, I'll probably have to do something else. So I'll come back to it. I know exactly where I left off, but it's just not everyone. Like, I understand some people be like, oh, well, if you don't like it, just don't watch the film. But I mean, number one, like, we're comic book fans. We like Justice League. We like DC. Even though we don't care for Zack Snyder all that much, this is something we're still interested in. And we're kind of intrigued to see how different this is from the from the original, from Josh Whedon's version, like 100%. So it's like, I don't know. It just seems a bit counterproductive. I mean, I personally would have thought that, you know, if I thought it would have done better in parts, it definitely, you know, you have way more discourse going on. You have a lot more conversation throughout the week. I mean, look at what WandaVision's been doing, you know, but everyone acts like, oh, you know, weekly releases are like a thing in the past. And like, it's really not that far off. Like, HBO does it all the time. Like, a lot of places release one episode per week. That's how you stretch out your content, unless you're Netflix. But I think they're going to do it. I think Netflix is going to do week to week for Stranger Things for sure. But I don't know, this whole back to this Snyder Cut thing. I don't understand. I don't really get it. Like, the article kind of goes into, you know, Zach will watch like these really big epics and whatnot. And it's just like, oh, like, well, she's like, well, with my like movie habits, I'm like, I'm sure Deborah's a nice person, but I don't give a flipping flapjack pancake about Deborah's movie watching habits, whatever. Like, she's been known to, you know, sit there bitching for hours, and sometimes you fall asleep. She says she sat with Zach for hours a bunch of times, and she might just want to watch a couple of parts at a time. But it's like, it should have just been episodic to begin with. Like, it even to not even just for the fans, but like, you're clearly not just gearing towards this for the fans, because it is on HBO. You're pushing it on HBO Max, which means that more casual fans will probably tune in. Like, hey, you know, like, some people will be somewhat interested in having watching Justice League, but it's like, they're not going to sit there and watch it for 4 hours. And I don't think a lot of people are going to start it and then want to come back to it. But like, it's just like, hey, like, what sounds better? Are you going to buy a new PC just out of the gate for like $5,000, whatever? Or, you know, you can sign up for a monthly plan and pay it off in chunks, you know, when you have the money. And it's like, it's all about marketing. And I feel like, yeah, it's for the fans, but at the same time, it's not, because if it was, I feel like it just would have gone straight to Blu-ray, and whoever wanted to buy it would have just bought it, and the people would have bought it would have been the fans. But they're clearly trying to get more eyes on this film than just the fans. So I don't know, but it is what it is, man. It's
from one of the worst DC movies to one of the best. Shazam.
Yeah. Rant's over. Sorry.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods cast has added West Side Story's Rachel Zegler in a key role. Who could it be?
Who could it be? I don't know. Who do you think it could be?
Agatha.
It was Agatha all along. Man, oh man, that would have been.
I don't
awesome.
really know who this is or who she could be playing, but I'm gonna watch Shazam because it's good.
Yeah, Shazam is. I personally think it's one of the best DC movies out there. And also, sorry for the rant. I'm literally like trying to like stretch time to see if Leo's coming on, and I'm like, if he is, he is. But you know, I'm fighting for you, Leo. Just putting that out there. I'm trying to stretch it as long as I can without being long winded. Even though I anytime when it comes to Zack Snyder stuff, the anger lives like right up here. It's weird. Like, not the anger, like the frustration of this man. But I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm just not a big fan of his films. That's the only thing. I sympathize with them and whatnot. But let's go on to I would honestly say probably like the second biggest story of the week that actually dropped today. There's a Superman reboot, Superman Big Blue reboot in the works over at Warner Brothers.
They're so dumb. I'm just gonna say it. They're because when you use the phrase reboot, that means more than likely it's not going to be Henry Cavill.
It's going to be a black Superman, though.
But Henry Cavill, first of all, was a perfect Superman.
He was. Yes, I can agree.
But and also he had 1.5 movies. Never got a sequel. Never got a direct sequel. Nope. He got a half of a sequel, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Ben Affleck didn't even get a full movie.
Why would you reboot?
This
soon.
It seems very soon. It honestly does. I mean, I'm not that, like I said, I'm not a big Superman fan, but I do respect and understand why people like Henry Cavill as Superman so much. I love Henry Cavill as an actor. He is like oozing this nerd goo all over himself, between Netflix and there's rumor that he might be there might be a Mass Effect series coming up that he might be in, and it's just like it's in the Witcher season 2 is coming out. He's just a big old buff nerd. Like he's a cool dude, and I think JJ Abrams is producing this, but I don't know who's directing, which is odd. But we also have
we also don't know who Superman is, which is even odder.
Yeah, it literally like this comes from Deadline. It's just it's a picture of Superman's chest with his face cut off.
Shazam.
Yeah, from Shazam. And like honestly, that's probably the best analogy you can think of right now. But people are up in arms, dude. Like
because it's dumb. Like it's just why.
I don't. I mean, he and Henry Cavill may be too busy, but like there's been no transparency with this whatsoever. And that's what I don't like. It's like, okay, like if there is going to be another Superman, which is fine, tell us why and, just give us all the details. Like, I mean, it's some weird stuff going on, but yeah, people are very, very pissed about this, but we have Tanishishi, I cannot. I'm so bad with names. Mr. Coates. He has been. He's writing the Superman reboot for Warner Brothers. He's been attached to Ryan Coogler's directed film entitled "Wrong Answer," and I've never actually seen "Wrong Answer" myself, but it's about a math teacher in Atlanta who is scandalized, and when he looks to get funding for a school by altering his students' test scores. Looks like Michael Jordan's is attached to that Wrong Answers film as well. But I don't know, man. It really does suck. I kind of wish we had Leo here too. I know Leo's a Superman fan, but he's not like it's not his favorite superhero. But it really does suck. Because at first, people were saying like a reboot. We like you said, we don't know who Superman is. And I was like, okay, well maybe it'll be with Henry Cavill. They're like, no, I think they're going to go with the black guy. It's like, okay, that's totally fine. But people have been clamoring for Man of Steel 2 for like ever. And I guess we'll never see it. I do not know.
The disrespect.
Yeah.
To Mr. Cavill.
Yeah, it really does blow, man. It's like, and as much as I love Warner Brothers.
Sherlock Holmes himself. Can't get any respect.
Geralt himself can't get any respect. Well, yeah, when it comes to this, I don't know if this is even reactionary or it's just like, I mean, Warner Brothers is all over the place when it comes to superhero stuff. Like I wish Warner Brothers had a Kevin.
They just don't have a plan. That's all it is.
They do not. They need a Kevin Feige under their wing. Like that is what they need because. You look at Marvel and Disney, they have planned for like
they have at least the next 5 years.
5 years, yeah. And it's like Warner Brothers is kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, oh, well, like let's reboot this, and like Warner Brothers can just be so reactionary, and it's like they could pump out just as good as content as Marvel. I know they can, but they don't, and part of it is being reactionary, and we've seen that with Justice League. We've seen that with a lot of instances with Warner Brothers, as well as other studios. But it sucks. It doesn't, because for the longest time, like Henry Cavill, didn't he say that like essentially the cape was like still in his corner and he should be able to? But and I think this is actually part of the DCEU as well. This new Superman reboot. So it's like it's just I can't even call it the DCEU anymore, because it's just there's just too much going on. Like, yeah, I think I would like something more connected and more consistent, but it blows.
Speaking of inconsistent, how about this last one? I'll let you take this last one.
Oh God! All right, we have a little bit of gaming news here. For those of you who don't know, we received our first PlayStation State of Play announcement this past Thursday. The first one, February 2021. So I will say first and foremost that this State of Play, which is kind of like a mini event of like it was like a 30-minute event of things that are coming up on their platform, like new titles, new updates. I was whelmed. I wasn't like overwhelmed or underwhelmed. Well, it was a little bit more underwhelming if anything else. But it wasn't bad in the sense, because we did get a lot of updates for smaller titles, which is what I was actually looking forward to, because I wanted to know more about Deathloop. We got more about Deathloop. I wanted to know more about Kena Bridge of Spirits, which we also got. We got a few like PlayStation 5 updates for like Final Fantasy 7 Remake, the Intergrade. So I think they're going to be adding more onto that story with Yuffie, and just giving PlayStation 5 owners a PS5 update of the game overall, which is great, because this shows game preservation, which I'm all for. And we have there was a few others like Oddworld, and as well as Knockout City. There was a cool one called Sifu, which is kind of like a martial arts type game, which I thought was pretty sweet. And then we also have Returnal, which is PlayStation Sony's one of their newest IP that's supposed to be coming. I think it's in like March or May, or maybe I think it's in April, but it's $70. So I don't know who's going to buy into that. I'm not buying into that. For $70 for a new IP, absolutely not. But we got a new Crash Bandicoot for It's About Time PlayStation 5 update, which is pretty cool. That will be available on March 12th. And I think that's about it. I mean, there was like Knockout City, a little bit more of that trailer. We got a little bit of Solar Ash news, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which actually looks pretty cool. I'm very, very excited about that. Oddworld Soulstorm. And that is pretty much it. You can read my review of it on the Music City Drive-In website, but I pretty much said, it was a lukewarm presentation. We did see some more of the same titles. We got a little bit more info about Deathloop, but nothing that really blew us out of the water. But for as long as I've been gaming, I wasn't really expecting anything huge. But I mean, for the fact that they have been showing us like not updates, little smaller updates for like Horizon Zero Dawn 2 for Ben West, which apparently now is rumored to release in 2022 alongside the new God of War, which is fine. But at least give us updates of these games. Don't just not ignore that they're there, because yes, that's why people are coming. They're coming for the AAA games, but when it comes to events like this, you have to keep in mind to pretty much just keep your expectations in reality, because I didn't think we were going to get anything big, but I was kind of expecting smaller updates or transparent updates for some of these games, but It is what it is, man. And yeah, hopefully, I'm as of right now, I'll give it like a 2 out of 5 stars. Like it was okay. Like I said, I got a few things that I was looking forward to, but it's not the worst. But it is what it is. So all right.
I'm glad you watched it for us.
I mean, I was gonna cover it either way for the website, just because to kind of get back into the writing groove. But hey, it is what it is. That was pretty much our last news story of this week. So we're about to get into our WandaVision review, episode 8, titled, oh my gosh, what was it?
Previously on.
Very
fitting title.
Yeah, very, very fitting title. So let's jump in. There we go. Love it. Absolutely love it. So from here on out, spoilers. Did you hear that? Spoilers, 100%. Because even though we're, this will be up on Saturday, it's going to be spoilers. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Paul Bettany, son of a gun. He bamboozled us so
Did he,
hard.
though?
Yes, it has to be.
We still got one episode left. Still got one more left.
I'm not holding out hope. This man played us all. I don't know whether to be mad, sad, or just give him a round of applause, because it was a master troll. If you're not aware of what we're referring to, this whole season, Paul Bettany in all of his interviews has been hyping up this amazing actor that's going to show up in the show that he's been wanting to work with for a long time. He's called him a genius, and he said how awesome he is and how much he's wanted to work with him. It's going to be Paul Bettany. He's going to be talking about himself because there's a second Vision now.
Devin is like super salty right now.
He played us.
I think
I'm more impressed than anything, because.
But what about what Monica Rambeau said? Because she said I can't wait until you find out who the aerospace engineer is. I
still have some hope for that.
We got one episode left. I don't know who it's gonna be, but with this episode, yes, it is titled Previously On, and I honestly think, and I know I say this every week, but this time I believe I mean it. This was the best episode we've received thus far. I would say last week's was probably the weakest out of the entire.
Yeah, I'd say last week was a dip, but now it's back up.
It was, we have Agatha Harkness. She is trying. Let's just start from the beginning. The Salem witch trials with Agatha Harkness.
She is 500 years old.
Yeah, something around there. And she's probably been doing her own thing, living her life, and killed the other witches of the coven, including her mother. She
sucked their souls out and gained their power.
Out. Yeah, and she was trying to act all innocent at first, and
she killed her own mother.
She did. She was like, "Mama." It's like, no, you gotta die. And it's like, ooh, well, am I? And yeah, it just literally picked up the ground running. Like, we got a backstory for Agatha Harkness, as well as everything that has been happening with Wanda, which is why
it's called Previously On. We're seeing
devastating
her whole life previously
completely
on.
Devastating. We have.
Did you cry?
I
shed some tears.
I was a little bit. Like
I think I thought about it at one point, but
I mean, I was almost there, because
you could see the emotion, because Elizabeth Olsen is such a great actress.
Like, where's her Emmy? Where is it? Like, it needs to be here. But it's the entire time, you just the empathy that you felt for Wanda this whole episode, going back, Agatha's trying to figure out what caused you, or how did you control this entire town. Yeah,
we find out that despite the Agatha all along reveal at the end of last episode, we thought maybe she's the one pulling all the strings, but in reality, she's just kind of pushing things the way she wants them to go.
Yeah.
And Wanda's the one that's really controlling everything, and that's why she wants to know how she's doing it, because Agatha's just impressed at this point and wants Wanda's power.
Yeah, and it makes sense, after Sparky died, and Wiccan and Speed, or AKA Tommy and Billy, were saying, you can bring our dog back to life, and then Agatha was like, you can do that, and it's like it was Agatha all along, and there's been a lot of Mephisto theorists out there have been mighty quiet this week, but some people are like, oh, don't rule him out yet, and I'm like, I mean, maybe. But I don't think he's coming, because they literally said, oh, who's the villain of this series?
Who is Ralph, though? That is what's lingering.
That is true. And I totally forgot about that. And that's the only thing that's keeping me wondering who he is. But it's like you just see between, we're taking a trip down memory lane here with Wanda, with her family. And we actually see where she got this entire like sitcom aesthetic from.
I originally thought it was just going to be when her and Vision were like hiding away in Europe. I thought that's when she was going to be binging all of this, but it's been her whole life. She's been the sitcom has been a driving force in her entire life.
And that actually makes a lot of sense, because usually with and this actually happened with a girl that I was dating back in college. I mean, she was Colombian, and she didn't really speak. I mean, she spoke the language. She spoke English, but she always used to tell me, hey, she used to tell me that she learned a lot of, how she learned English through watching sitcoms and just TV shows altogether. And it's like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And you see that here with Wanda, when she's gathered around with her family, Pietro, her mom, her dad. And,
I know you love that DVD briefcase they pulled out.
Of course, dude. Physical media for the win. Absolutely, man. It's like, come on, back when Wanda was a kid, physical media.
It was so weird just seeing, like, it was like in a weird briefcase almost.
Yeah, I wonder where they got those from. But it's like, it was a family event. They got around. It's like, okay, whose turn is it to watch whatever show, whatever episode? And it's Wanda, and they were watching the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah, we find out that's her favorite, and that's what episode 2 was based around.
Yeah, and as throughout the episode, we see Wanda and Vision when she's at the Avengers complex, the compound. And she's watching like Malcolm in the Middle, and we see that, which is great.
And then Vision slides through the wall, and he doesn't understand the humor of the house falling on him. He doesn't understand the slapstick humor.
Yeah, he's a sentient being, and it's like he has to learn these human mannerisms, which is crazy, but it's pretty cool at the same time. But I'm telling you, like, I jumped, like my heart. Like, as soon as that bomb hit,
that was jarring.
That was jarring. Like, just out of boom, nowhere. Like, just completely, like, there was no build up to it either. And that's what made it all the more special when it came to that scene. And then I believe from there we had, they kind of went through. Oh, he's okay. Is Leo here? Oh, Leo is here. Hey, Leo.
Oh, what up? What's going on, guys? What up? What up? Is my mic all right?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. Completely.
Right on. What's going on, fellas?
Not much. Everyone, Leo's here, and
right in the nick of time.
Yeah, we literally just started talking about WandaVision. Like, we got
perfect, man. What an episode this was, guys. I mean, seriously, like a couple, I want to say probably about 4 or 5 times during this episode, I just was like tearing up.
I asked Christian, I was like, did any tears fall?
Yeah, man.
I
definitely cried a little bit, because what this character has been through so much. What a tragedy, one after another, that she's been through to lead her up to this point. And man, Hayward has literally doctored up a story to make us believe Wanda dragged the body out. Like, no way, dude. She didn't even freaking like take
That
the body at all.
killed me.
Like
That
I'm like,
killed
this
me.
guy is
Ah.
wow.
Now
What
the
a
question
guy.
I have is how deep did it go with Hayward? Did he set it up to where they were faking, like playing around with Vision at the facility just so she would come and get angry? Is that how deep it goes?
I mean, I don't know. It's
Because
like
it looked like they were just using random tools on his head. Like it didn't look like they were doing real work.
they wanted that white Vision. They wanted their own weapon out of this. Like
I felt so
bruh.
bad. Like
Ugh.
when she went to the compound, she's like, I know he's here. And like when she finds out, she's like, I just want to bury him. That's all I want to do. And like that,
Like,
that
they're
right
that's
there,
$5 billion worth of vibranium. You're not going to bury him.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Wanda, got the idea of the sitcom world.
Yeah.
And it was actually, it's very realistic. I was telling Devin, this one girl I used to date, she was Colombian, and she had told me, when she moved to the States, she would watch she would watch a lot of like sitcoms and just TV shows to like learn more of the language. I'm like, that's completely valid and completely like realistic. And that's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, that's what they always suggest when you're learning another language. You want to like watch their game shows or their sitcoms just to pick up on the conversational portion of the language. And man, like what I love so much about this episode is just Elizabeth Olsen's range, man. Like going from like tragic sorrow to a little bit of happiness with Vision. Just all these different emotions that she expressed were just Emmy nomination worthy. I mean, I would say Emmy award winning worthy, but let's be real here. Superhero movies. Well, Watchmen got a lot of awards at the Emmys. Yeah. One before last. So maybe we could see WandaVision do a little sweep here. I don't know, guys. That performance was so good.
Catherine Hahn too. She was great this episode.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh my god, really good. Just over her
shoulder
the whole time.
She was so playful.
Yeah, man.
It was like kind of like she was her friend, but that she was like trying to figure out. She's like, "How did you do it? How did you do it?" And it's like Wanda just broke down, especially reliving all that. Like when she was in the apartment, physical media fans for the win. That's what I was telling Devin earlier. He's like, you see that box of DVDs? I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like, how else you gonna watch TV? But it's just like, as soon as that bomb hit, like it didn't even build up to it. It just hits you. Yeah. I jumped. I was like, holy crap. Like, I need to watch this episode again.
And then right after this, we get probably the biggest reel of the episode that Wanda has been a witch her entire life.
So, okay, guys, I have a question for both of you. Does that mean she's a mutant? Like, at this point, it's like, can't they just say...
So the rule is that you have to be born with your powers to be a mutant, right? Like, that's the rule. It seems fitting.
Maybe she was born because, as we saw, between the trauma with her being a kid and then, being for Strucker's experiments, they were saying, everyone else has, like, died from being in contact with the Mind Stone, and we see Scarlet Witch or a silhouette of Scarlet Witch,
the future version of Scarlet
I guess it would be a future version.
Yeah, that was real cool. Which, by the way, another weird question I had, and I was like, isn't that the Space Stone? And then it just like unraveled to be the Mind Stone.
I thought
that was a weird.
They got their colors mixed up at some point.
Actually, really just so you know, the Tesseract was the Mind Stone. I think
the first Avengers movie, they weren't planning on doing the Infinity Stones because they had it blue, but they didn't really plan it all out perfectly.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's expected. You're gonna have inconsistencies here or there, but I would have like shit my pants if she looked inside the Mind Stone and you hear like Professor X's voice. It's like,
oh my god,
or Magneto, Papa Magneto.
The silhouette was just like Magneto or Professor X in there. Like, how much would y'all freak out? Like,
I would have freaked out so much, dude. I would have. Oh my god, this is happening. This is happening. But the episode floored me, especially when she goes back to Westview. When we finally see how she creates everything, and she has like the ground plans for their house, and it just says like to grow old into, and it's like
that was heartbreaking.
And she's like, I felt alone and just empty, and it's just like she couldn't take it anymore. And damn,
I'm totally jumping back a little bit, but oddly enough, when the missile came through, I saw it coming. So like it happened, and then I jumped after it. Like I was like,
"Oh, really?"
Like it like happened, it landed, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" But like I reacted like super late. I'm like, dude, these kids would, in reality, they would already have been obliterated, and then I reacted after. But man, when she like stuck her hand out and the missile didn't explode. Dude, I'm like, she's a mutant, y'all. This is it. Like, they're bringing mutants in here, man. This has got to be our intro to the mutants. Like, a Scarlet Witch maybe is their way of saying, oh, she's a mutant. This special type of witch is a mutant, because in the comics, I assume that's just what she goes by. That's her superhero name.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it just was her superhero name.
Right. And here they made it like a whole, like, you are a Scarlet Witch, some type of archetype or something. But
yeah, like chaos magic, I think is what she said. That
yeah. So I'm thinking that's kind of like a hint, nudge, nudge. Like mutants can use this kind of stuff. Like,
speaking of mutants, we have to figure out who the hell Pietro is still.
Right.
Pietro. I love that.
She was like Pietro, whatever. I was like, oh, so maybe Wanda did conjure him pulling from another universe, because
that's possible.
Agatha said that, he was just her eyes and ears. And that was it.
Although she did mention that she was going to bring the actual Pietro, but he was in a different country and filled with bullet holes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like just pushing all the wrong buttons right now. This is this is terrible. Oh my god.
I wonder if, is that him from another universe? Like, what are we dealing with?
Is it just some guy from the town like the rest of them are?
Right. Like
that would be a pretty lame. That'd be a pretty lame outcome if we're being honest.
Yo, speaking of the town, y'all, guess who we didn't see? Dottie. We didn't see Dottie, man. I'm telling y'all, I think something's going on with her.
Devin thinks that Paul Bettany. Devin thinks Paul Bettany is like trolling.
Paul Bettany trolled all of us.
The special guest is here.
Yes, it's himself. Like, that's a top tier troll.
Oh, that would suck, man. Like,
maybe.
I'm convinced that's what it is.
But the lady who said Monica Rambeau, who plays Monica Rambeau, she was like, I can't wait for you guys to see who the aerospace engineer is. I'm like, I never thought it was Fantastic Four. It's wild imagination. Imagination is running wild. I really don't know.
But they set it up so well, though. Like, why would they show her texting him if it's just nobody?
And she talked in an interview about the aerospace engineer and that some of us are like onto it. Like, it's like, come on, it's got to be Reed Richards. It could potentially be Victor. It could potentially be Doom. It could be someone else. What I was thinking is it would be really cool if Doom was who it was, and then they had us kind of get attached to him a little bit and had us like actually like, oh, like this is a cool character. Like, people who might not know too much about the comics might be like, oh, like this is a really cool character. Then he becomes Dr. Doom later on down the line, and it actually gives us a little bit of an emotional attachment to that character before turning him completely into Dr. Doom. I think that would be kind of cool, but that's probably way too out there. Let's be real.
Yeah, they just started with Fantastic Four writing, so they don't even have casting yet. I don't think so.
No. It could be Ironheart.
That's true. Could be Shuri.
Oh man, see that, and that's what I'm saying is like if
it has to be someone though. It has to be.
If these big appearances are people like that, oh, it's just sure what? Oh, Doctor Strange. But I do think it's possible that White Vision could be voiced by James Spader, because isn't he like on the IMDb? I think that'd be cool to just like scoot him back in some way, and it's like, oh, like
his voice is so good.
Oh, so good. Scooched in Ultron somehow. Like, we gave you James Spader back. That's all you get.
That would have been sweet.
I do think Doctor Strange is going to show up in the finale, like for sure.
Yeah, but he won't be into.
Is he Luke Skywalker level though?
No,
because no.
It's got, guys, next episode we've got to see, because Agatha's got the kids by the throat. I almost feel like something's gonna happen to where like maybe she takes over Wanda, or something happens where she absorbs her magic or something, and then she gets to a certain power level, and somebody's gonna have to step in to be like, look, we gotta calm this down. And maybe it's
and we got White Vision flying in. He's gonna be a murder mission.
It's gonna be Michael Fassbender. I'm telling you,
dude. Oh my god,
we can't get our hopes up.
Could you imagine if like White Vision just like was about to deliver a final blow or something? He just starts like crinkling up, and it's like,
I'm telling you, watch this time next week. We're gonna be like, holy shit.
we should be writers. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Marvel,
Disney
you
hire
listening? Us. Come on, man. Bring in Fassy.
Seriously, I would lose my marbles if he came through.
Because it's just like, it just feels like this is now the time to at least make a gateway for the mutants. Because they have Evan Peters in here.
Yeah.
They fooled us one too many times. They've done 3, like, we gotchas. Pietro, the scientist, and now this Paul Bettany stuff. Like,
yeah, because it's just like
3 is just too many.
If that was who he was talking about, I'm gonna be real aggravated. Like, you can't tell me we got a Luke Skywalker level appearance and it's you, my guy. Well, I guess Elizabeth Olsen was the one that asked that question, but it's like, you can't tell me that there's a Luke Skywalker and it's Doctor Strange or it's him. Yo, if Stark walked in, that would have been pretty cool.
Like, she said it's not Pietro.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if it's not Pietro, I'm gonna need them to maybe do another interview this week and say it's not Paul Bettany.
Because how long is the next week's episode is gonna be? Because there's a lot to tie up.
Everyone's freaking out because they're like, oh, well, it's not equally at the 6 hours like they said. I'm like, they said around 6 hours. So like, we'll probably get an hour episode, which I don't know, 5 hours. It's around 6, kind of.
Give me an hour and a half episode next week. I want it.
Oh,
I do too, man. I'm with that.
We need it.
Yeah, you got to tie up these strings, and you got to get one big guy to come in, man. I mean, I'm serious, y'all. If they brought in Magneto, Professor X, even if you want to throw a Spider-Man in there, I'm down. Like, but I just feel like what we've gotten so far hasn't led up to the cameo that they said, of the caliber that they said. So and if it's James Spader, look, Paul Bettany has worked with James Spader, and he said it's somebody he's always wanted to work with. So I'm like, okay, it can't really be him because he's always worked with himself, obviously. So it's like, okay, who can it be? Michael Fassbender would make sense. Ian McKellen or Stewart would make sense. Even James McAvoy would make sense, but it's just like, who could it be?
I'll lose my shit.
Oh my god, dude!
I'll lose my shit.
Wanda, can I help?
Right.
Oh my god, dude! Like, we gotta fix this, Wanda. We gotta fix this.
I might have to join the. I might have to join the 3 a.m. crew next week. As soon as it drops. I'm not lying, man. Like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I got to know.
You can't sign on
for the finale. It might be worth it. Yeah.
I mean, okay, technically, I did wake up around 4:00 this morning. I couldn't sleep, and I was like, I'll watch WandaVision. And then I went back to sleep for 2 hours, and I started work. So I'm like, okay, that was nice. But I'm like, I got to rewatch this episode because it was so heartbreaking.
What do you guys think? Is this the best episode yet, or are you feeling like one of the other episodes is a little bit better than this one?
I actually think this is the best one yet. Like, we were actually just talking about right before you hopped on. Like, we were saying even last week's, I think that was probably the weakest that the show's ever been. But the other episodes have been so good. But it's like this one it explains so much. Mm-hmm. We finally get an explanation for Wanda. And it's like, you know, she did like we kind of theorized. I thought that she had stolen Vision's body. But no, we see her literally just conjure up another Vision.
That chaos magic.
Yeah, and she's like, Wanda, welcome home. And it's like, oh, so that's where that came from in the trailer.
Now it all makes sense why he was like tearing apart when he actually left Westview, because it was like he only exists there. And okay,
but
does that mean that
her kid's real?
I think so. I think they are. I don't think that they would not be real. I don't know. Gosh, who knows? Like at this point, it's like, who knows, man? Like they've done so many things that I wouldn't have seen coming. The only thing I saw coming this whole time was Agatha Harkness. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else.
That's all any of us got right.
Where the fuck is Dottie? That's all I want to know.
Is she Emma Frost? Is she like who is this?
I don't know,
Who are you?
Maybe
are you
she's
Mephisto?
Because Agnes is like, oh yeah, she runs this whole town. It's like, well, technically it's Wanda.
Right, which led me to believe she was possibly Mephisto. I don't even know if we're gonna get Mephisto though. Like that's after this episode, I'm kind of like, are they even gonna introduce Mephisto?
But who's Ralph? Like, it's just so many questions.
Who's Ralph?
Who's Ralph? When that door formed, y'all, and she like had to fly and the whole pigeon thing happened. When that door came up and was conjured, I was like, "Is Mephisto about to walk? Like, who's walking out of there?"
You just see a Doctor Strange portal appear.
Oh my life!
Al Pacino just walked through the door and shit. Just like
he was rumored to be, in this, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We have one more episode. If they decide to drop that episode and it's like 1:22, then I'm sure there's a big cameo at the end.
Yeah. We did. Yeah, we already talked about the mid-credits scene. Someone was saying on Twitter that like the UK version was saying there's 2 episodes left. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because that would run straight into Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
And I think they're taking a week off to do the Legends, to release those little Legends episodes. And I think Raya actually comes out that Friday.
Next week. Yeah, next Friday. Yeah. I got to watch that tonight.
They don't want to run right. They don't want to run right into that bullet. Like,
yeah, that too. So it's like, honestly, I'm surprised they're only taking a week. Like,
but would y'all be mad if they like dropped another episode?
No, just give me 9 and 10 next week, and I'll be fine. That's all I care about. It's like,
double drop.
That would be awesome. I really don't know though. It was just some random person on Twitter, but I will say I think Twitter was like a little bit better about not spoiling things. I mean, like, yeah, I saw it like at the crack of fucking dawn, but I was like, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and just. I don't know.
I guess the only real spoilery thing this episode was White Vision, though.
Yeah, and nobody really spoiled that. I haven't seen too many spoiler posts.
So I thought I got spoiled because I told Leah about this a few days ago. It was, I'm not gonna say it. No.
Yeah, let's not. Because it could be in the next episode.
Well, like, yeah, I was gonna say it might be in the next episode, but I'm like, from what I saw today, because they're like, oh, this is gonna be in episode 8, and I'm like. It wasn't there. So I'm like, I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Say, but I did see a that was in episode 8, and it was like Wanda grieving, and I was like, well.
Oh no, that wasn't
horrible. Yeah, I wasn't.
No. It's just there wasn't much reveal. I mean, there was a lot to reveal. It was just more of like a recap of everything we haven't seen. Because we did, we saw her kind of storming in to the compound, but like we just thought she took Vision's body and left, and it's like Wanda was kind of in control. I mean, she technically has been in control this whole time, but Agatha's kind of been pulling the strings in the background, but it's like for whatever reason Agnes is like drawn to Wanda for whatever reason. We actually hear her say Scarlet Witch for the first time, which is really nice, but yeah, maybe she's always had her powers. I really don't know.
It's that chaos magic, man. Chaos magic. Like that's what they want. Is she wants to have the abilities that Wanda has.
Yeah. And, well, it seems like she has more than the abilities that Wanda has, but I guess she doesn't.
Right. Which I'm like, what?
It seems like you have the same powers. You just have purple energy.
It seems to me like Wanda's is like far more powerful though. Like maybe not even Wanda knows that because it took her grief to bring all that to life, and I don't think Agnes could do that. But she could kill like 5 witches. I was like, dang, bro, that
especially her own mama. I was like,
well, okay. Did any of you guys kind of feel for her though? I was like,
well, no, I just felt bad.
She said she can use it for good, and she was like, "I can use my powers for good, guys. Like, stop."
But,
and
but was she being real though?
She was like, "Son."
Can we trust her? Come on now.
She started draining that energy. She was like, "Oh, I was just joking around."
How about that makeup at the end though? She looked very witchy.
Yeah,
Right.
That was
yeah.
interesting.
Catherine Hahn killed it.
Killed it.
Like, wow. I don't know. There's so much to theorize, but it's like it's gotta wait another week, which is fine. Like, I'm fine with just waiting because I have other crap to watch. So it's
Amen, bro. Okay, you guys' number one pick for who the big cameo is. If it's not Vision, who is it? Number one
Michael
pick.
Fassbender.
Please don't be Vision.
It's
Please.
baby Vision.
My guess is Magneto, some form of Magneto,
I'm gonna say Magneto as Michael Fassbender,
along with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange,
or maybe
seems like a
James
given.
McAvoy. I will lose my shit if it's one of us two. I'm telling you.
I'd lose my shit if it was Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen,
Yeah.
Fassbender, or McAvoy. Like, just
What if it's Logan?
don't even
That's
set
like-
me up for that.
We could have the two Logans and the two Visions fight each other.
Oh my god.
That would be insane. I don't know who it could be. It is. I mean, like, there's no way it could be anyone from the roster that we know as of right now, like Avengers wise. There's just no way. But it's like, yeah, I'm thinking either James McAvoy or probably Michael Fassbender.
It
As
could
Magneto.
potentially even be Iron Man. I mean, I'm just trying to think Luke Skywalker of the MCU. And the only
It's tough.
or of Marvel as a whole. And I'm like
Will probably be,
Magneto, Professor X, Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, Iron Man, Captain America. Like, you take all them out the equation, nobody else is really the Luke Skywalker because they're all still involved. So it's like, who else can you really bring in? If you even brought in Thor, it'd be like, well, he's going to be in the next Guardians movie and in his own next movie. So
You really
that doesn't
think
make
they
him
would,
Luke Skywalker.
You really think they would bring Tony back though?
No, but I'm just saying that would be
Yeah.
the level, like that would be a
Same
Luke
level.
Skywalker level
Understand.
experience.
It
So-
has to be somebody, or it could be Al as Mephisto, I guess. I really don't know. That is
Ooh, that'd be tight.
that
Ooh.
would be really nice. I just don't know. Like, it wasn't Evan Peters because Elizabeth Olsen said that, and then we got Evan Peters. So like that's what made me believe. I'm like, oh, I guess like I equated that to like kind of like a Luke Skywalker type thing. Even though I got the Luke Skywalker thing like spoiled for me.
I was
So I
like,
really-
he's a Bo-Katan. Like,
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Anakin, like Darth Vader. Come on now, like no. It's like I don't care about Luke Skywalker. No, I'm just joking. A
whoa,
little
hot takes, hot takes.
A little bit, but but yeah, I really don't know who it could be. We could sit here theorizing for like the next hour, and it could just I don't know. But there's
No one knows.
no one knows. We just have to tune in next week. Leo definitely would love to have you on next week for sure to cap out WandaVision.
Let's do it, guys.
I think honestly next week I think we should just forego the news. I mean, depending on if there's any good news stories, and just do WandaVision the entire.
Yeah, it's warranted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we don't even know how long it's gonna be, but that's totally fine. It's just come on, Michael Fassbender, let's go. That's all I want. That's all I want from life. Even if it's not him, I'll be fine because like that is a bit of a stretch. I'm just trying to think of who a Luke Skywalker level character would be for the MCU, and that's tough.
I just
Unless-
hope we're not building ourselves up for like sheer disappointment, you know.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the thing. You can blame ourselves, but at the end of the day, it's the actors and writers that are also doing it. So
That's
it's
true.
like there's got to be something at the end of this road.
I don't
Oh,
know.
it can even be Reed Richards.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. Because I mean they are starting production with that, so I don't know. Unless like Chadwick Boseman has like some kind of weird secret cameo that we never knew about, and like that's how he.
That would be something.
Yeah.
It would be something.
That would
I
be
don't know.
strange.
I'm gonna. Okay, it's time to end this podcast. But again, Leo, thank you so much for coming on. Even though you came on late, it's all good. We'll be back next week, just doing a full spoiler review of the season finale, or I guess the series finale, because there's only one season so far that we know of WandaVision. But Leo, let everyone know where they can find you and what's coming up on your channel.
Guys, come on over to youtube.com/geekly goods. Coming up, we got Ryan the Last Dragon. We'll be reviewing that and posting a review for that on Monday. Also, we'll be doing some WandaVision last minute predictions, potentially with a few guests. One of them, unfortunately, got sick, so I'll be looking for some new guests. If you guys would like to come on, feel free. But yeah, I'll be doing all kinds of WandaVision coverage next week, and maybe even dropping one more theory. So stay tuned.
Ooh, yeah, man, definitely let me know. I mean, my book's wide open. I work. It's COVID, so that's all. That's all there really is to it. Devin, any social plugs on your end?
Nope.
You sure you don't want to plug your OnlyFans or your? Well, we're gonna sign up for super follows.
Yeah, our Twitter OnlyFans.
Our Twitter OnlyFans.
Follow.
Our super follows on Twitter. Did you hear about that, Leo?
Yeah, I did, man. I'm not gonna do that. Y'all want to pay me for a tweet? I'm cool. Come on over to the YouTube channel. I'll probably start up like a YouTube membership or something.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't know. I was telling Devin, I'm like, they give us one of the most useless features in Twitter, but still no edit button. Like it's just not happening. So
right. Come on, man. Hook us up with an edit, please.
Or at least like upgrade your fleets, because like it's really just bare bones.
Are those still a thing?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I use them every week to like push our content. I mean, barely anyone watches them, but it's like, because it's the same thing as an Instagram story, but
which is the same thing as a Snapchat story.
Yeah, but I like Instagram story better than Snapchat for some reason. I don't know why.
Snap just died, man. Snap.
Like I have it. Yeah, Snap. It's like I don't even use my own personal like Instagram for like post that much stuff. Like I'll post it on my story, but that's about it. But it's pretty much my new Snapchat. Anyway, let's where'd that go? Okay, never mind. We're all good. All right, so I'm going to close us out here. And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to check out the other shows over on musiccitydrivein.com and subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. That was Devin, Leo, and my name is Christian. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
That was a long one.
That I know. Leo, I swear, man, I was like,